Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's the Eradicator here, and in this video we'll be talking Need for Speed. Right now there are some very interesting bundles and discounts on Steam, up to 76%. I'm seeing here for example the bundle of Need for Speed Heat and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. I can also see 75% of discount for Need for Speed Heat 2, and these seem very interesting. Growing up as a child, I used to play countless hours of Need for Speed. These used to be games that I thoroughly enjoyed, and then one day it just stopped, and I'm going to tell you why I haven't bought a single Need for Speed game for the past 10 years. And so the last Need for Speed game that I bought was actually Need for Speed Hot Pursuit in was it in 2012 or 2011? I think it was like 2011 if I'm correct. And the reason why I decided to choose to buy this game, which was back then in 2011, that was my first Need for Speed since Need for Speed Underground 2. So that had already been quite a few episodes that I missed before that. And that's because growing up as a child, Need for Speed was a game where we would drive exotic, luxurious cars in exotic locations. And I think that this time of spirit has kind of been lost in the Need for Speed series, especially since Need for Speed Underground, which had a more like street urban environment and much less classier than the original games were. And this is not really my cup of tea. This is not really my universe. Not that the luxurious the luxurious environments with all those fancy cars are my environment either, but this is more something that I aspire to rather than this whole universe of street gangs and thugs. That is really not something that turns me on, and this is why I slowly but eventually completely drifted away from the Need for Speed series. And then when we had Need for Speed Hot Pursuit that took us to those gorgeous environments with those gorgeous cars once again, then I got interested again and I got hooked. But unfortunately, this is not something that remained in the series, and then we had more of the same of the underground vibe, like Need for Speed Payback, or even eventually the latest one, Need for Speed Heat, which is something that I'm really not interested to, even if when I'm seeing here that discount here at minus 75%, sure, the game looks absolutely gorgeous and it seems like a lot of fun driving in those cities, but I find the environment, the whole underground thug life vibe completely off-putting, and that's why I'm not interested. Now there's another thing, there are two more things why I am not putting Need for Speed, and I'm not taking any Need for Speed games. The first one is the view. I know that this is not a popular one, but when I'm playing a game, I want to feel immersed. And when I'm playing a driving game, in order to feel immersed, I need to have a cockpit view, which is what was making, in my opinion, the early Need for Speed games so fantastic, because we were able to drive those cars from the inside. The original Need for Speed, I was driving the Porsche 911, I was driving the Testarossa from the interior of the car, and it just felt like I was really driving them, even though it was the very beginning of 3D racing. The same with the McLaren F1 in Need for Speed 2, the same with the Lamborghini Diablo in Need for Speed 3. These were games that really made me believe that I was at the hands of the wheels of those cars, and it gave me this sense of escapism that the new Need for Speed games do not provide me with, unfortunately, because we are looking at the outside or just in front of the car, and it doesn't feel like it is really me who is driving the car. It's something that is terribly lacking, and this is why, for example, I would be more interested in playing games like Forza Horizon, for example, which is giving me again that feeling of being behind the wheels of the car. Now, one last thing here, which I think the Need for Speed series lost, and that would be the difficulty of the game, especially with the AI. I remember back in those days, the old Need for Speed, when you were messing up, you could easily have 10, 20, 30 seconds, 1 minute of delay between yourself and the lead of the race. This is not something that is happening anymore in the Need for Speed series. It feels more like you are on rails when you are playing those games. It feels like whatever you can do, it's always possible to catch up with the leaders of the race, or they're always going to catch up on you, and that is not realistic at all. This is not something that should be happening in the games in general. I know that this is something that has been very popular in games like the Mario Kart series, but this is not something that I'm interested in. I want to be able to feel like I have completely lost and I'm still going to finish the race because, you know, it's for the sake of finishing it, or I want to have that feeling of being so good that there's just no way my opponents are going to catch up with me. That is not the case in those, especially the recent Need for Speed. It started with Need for Speed Hot Pursuit back in 2011, and it's been a continuous trend all the way until the latest episode of Need for Speeds. The AI should not be able to catch you up. If you are that good, vice versa, you should not be able to catch up with AI. This is not something that, again, is very immersive. There must be consequences for your poor driving versus there should be some rewards for your excellent driving, and that is not gratifying. This is not, you know, the sense of pride and accomplishment that the CEOs and the managers at Electronic Cars have been talking about for so many years, right? This is not something that the Need for Speed series is bringing anymore and has not done for a very long time, and that's why you are never going to see me playing those games on this channel. Versus, you know, I could always come back to Forza Horizons 4 eventually, or get Forza Horizons 5. Why not? But Need for Speed, I'm sorry, I will never get that. As long as they don't change and they go back to the original spirit, it's not going to happen. But please let me know in the comments section down below. Do you still play Need for Speed games? Is it a series that you still enjoy? Have you always enjoyed this series, or were you like me, a fan, an old school fan who got disgruntled and completely abandoned the series? I'd like to know everything in the comments down below. That's all for this video, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time for more content on the channel. As always, this is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. This video is brought to you by the people who support this channel on Patreon and via the join button as well. Supporters of the channel get access to lots of cool perks, such as access to my private Discord, your question answered in the show, you get to know when I'm going to play, and also you get to have a chance to influence the editorial line of the channel. Any help is appreciated, starts at just $1 a month. Thank you very much for watching. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.